New stuff, people. Bear with me. We are here. We are live. I got B Strilla the Thrilla with me, and we are going to get it up. That's right. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B and my buddy B Strilla the Thrilla.
He's back.
That's actually my old intro because that was more of an homage from old to new when I first started the show. I like the music a little better.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little more.
I like it. Yeah. I like it.
And finally,
nice.
some logical commentary. I was glad I was able to come in and help that out because it was derailing with the quickness. There you go.
Yeah. Orlando with his titties.
I gave him a little shake. I hope that's suffice.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody. So, as I said earlier, Governor Whitlis of Michigan made child support a felony offense for some people. And because I didn't pay for three months due to injury, guess what happened to me?
That's ridiculous, dude.
70 days between two counties.
That is
the other
ridiculous.
county ain't doing it. So the one county is kind of like more of a jerk. Let's put it that way. Hey, I said it right, Jim Jackson. I said it right, Jim Jackson. Governor Whitlis.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, Austin? Austin, man, I haven't seen you a long time, Austin. Dang, and Megan. Hey, Megan.
Happy to see all of you. Sorry, when I'm not the host of the show, I can't just burst in and acknowledge everybody. Yeah, it's like I was sitting here after doing my noon show and took a nap and woke up at 4 o'clock. There was a knock on the door. Von Doom is working. I don't bother that man while he's working. I let him do his stuff.
Actually, I did bother him while he was working today.
Yeah, I don't bother him. That's just me. But anyways, about 4 o'clock, I saw some people walking around outside the house. Didn't think anything of it. What if it was a meteor reader or something like that? Next thing you know, there's a knock on the door. My mom answers it, and I hear my name said. I had nothing to hide. I walked upstairs. Sir, you Jeremy? I was like, yeah. I look like him. Main event Mike is good. We're going to be talking tomorrow and Wednesday together. And B, you're more than welcome to come on too. But we're going to talk some Lions football. Main event Mike is great, and he's getting ready to start his own show. And I'm going to help him grow by having him on my show to talk about it. And I'll leave it at that because I don't get into personal issues. And that's for him to tell people, not me. I like sticking to the facts. I know he's starting his own channel. And I'll leave it there.
There you go.
And I want to help him grow just as much as they helped me when I needed it. I'm back going to help Main Event Mike grow.
There you go. That's what we do. Help everybody out, people.
Just like I'm going to help B with his. He's helping me with mine. We do that. But this is a close-knit community. I help Huddle Sports. They're helping me right now with what I've been through. King SJ, I am doing great. I get to eat real food again. I'm not on bread, water, and gruel.
Did you get your steak, buddy? Did you get your steak?
We're working on that problem, but yeah, I had a steak, but not the steak. How's that?
Okay, I got you. That's good. At least for a little bit.
But I haven't had the steak. And if you all know what the steak is, anybody that's had real cuts like prior to what they got shrunk to, the tomahawk steak. That's a real.
There you go. Yeah. Ricky was telling me.
They are still in discussions with D. Smith. That is what I've heard. He hasn't signed anywhere else, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out, to tell you the truth. You know, getting mixed signals from Brad Holmes. He's saying he's much too much to keep or to get, but they're still in contact with him. I said, well, dude, if he's too much money, then I can understand you're in contact with him because maybe an injury might happen during the season. But other than that, I wouldn't even be wasting my time. Do what you got to do. But
I don't think it's because he wanted as much as he was getting with this whole bonus. I think they're trying to talk it into the Dollar General Brad thing. He's not Dollar Store Brad. He's Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to get discount. That's what he does. We got him for a fifth rounder and got a six back for him last year. Do you know how crazy that is? That we got a pick back when we gave one up.
And he gave us 4 sacks. That's cool. I like that.
In the NFC, anybody that doesn't throw Goff in there as a top 5 quarterback in the NFC, I agree. I still say he's 6 or 7 in the NFL. Draft talk late. Who do I like? It's all the same guys. If they're an edge and had more than 5 sacks in the college season, I like them. I think our quarterback room with adding Avante Maddox, DJ Reed to replace CD3. And then Avante Maddox. I think that means the Mosley experience is done because it hasn't been much of an experience.
Yeah, there has been no experience.
And then Rock Johnson
on special teams.
Rock Johnson to fill as a backup to replace Iffy. I think that was a great signing. Mm-hmm. And remember, Iffy being gone after his 4th year, you know what that means we get next year? Probably a 4th or 5th round pick and compensatory. At worst, a 6th round pick because there's no way we'll get a 7th. It depends on what he signed for with Miami. Okay. I mentioned our first signing, which is DJ Reed, and our other big signing that we had before that at tackle because he could start until McNeil's healthy is Brandon Roy. And I love the interview that Brandon Roy had when they asked him about seeing Dan Campbell for the first time. He goes, on the sidelines, I always knew he looked like he was big. But when I got here and I stood next to him, I was like, this mofo can play. Okay, and now go ahead and catch me up on the other ones that I didn't know, because I know there was a few more depth signings in there.
So we did sign Coyote Awasika.
Yeah, I knew he'd re-sign him to me because I think Mahogany's going to be our starter unless we pick up somebody else. I think it's going to be,
I feel that way
and
too.
I think they're going to move Glasgow back to right guard where he was better because when Mahogany filled in at left guard, you didn't have a drop off.
Yeah. That's not saying too much, though. But anyway, defensive lineman Al Quadine Mahabad was re-signed as well. That's a good signing, too. I like that one. We did re-sign Khalil Dorsey. That's special teams help. He was really good on special teams last year. Let's see. We did re-sign Sane Zystra. That was a little shaky at first. We didn't think we were going to re-sign him, but we did. We did re-sign Pat O'Connor and Craig Reynolds. I'm not too happy about the Pat O'Connor one, but the Craig Reynolds, I'm good.
I'm the exact opposite because Pat O'Connor had a couple games where he did good when we had nobody at D tackle, but Craig Reynolds, I thought with what we got I think Nowaski might have been signed to a 2-year deal. I don't know if he's a free agent this year. I got to look.
Who's that?
Nowaski. Didn't we when we picked him up off waivers? Didn't we give him a 2-year contract and he's on?
I think we actually he did get re-signed. He got re-signed along with linebacker Anthony Pittman, another linebacker. He's definitely got to be for depth because I don't like Anthony
Yeah,
Pittman either.
the only
They
thing
keep
Pittman
wasting
did
time.
good was special teams. So
Yeah, that's
he,
might be what they signed him for.
they
Yeah,
signed him to keep him there. We didn't re-sign Ben Neiman, did we?
no, not yet.
Okay, I think that's something that they're working on. But Nowoski is here another year.
And then we did re-signed linebacker Mitchell Agude.
Yep, and
And
he came in quick and made plays right away. So
Mhm.
somebody who comes in off the street and performs. What did they tell everybody when they did that? When they were signing those UDFA's and the practice squad players, you come in and you perform, you're going to be here the next year. Um, yeah,
Let's
and
see. We also got they of course re-signed Dan Skipper, which is another good one. They also signed, and nobody ever mentions this free agent signing, but Ted and Kenny Yeboah, they signed.
okay.
So because Mitchell are not, was it Mitchell? Yeah, Mitchell left. I think
Hmm.
he went to. I'm trying to remember where he went to. I think he went to Tampa Bay or Carolina. I'm one of those teams.
Yeah, he went to the NFC South. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And it's one of the two Eastern ones, not the other one.
And then we had an interesting re-sign or free agent signing in quarterback Kyle Allen. So that kind of trying to question what our quarterback room is going to look like. We already
I
know
think
Goff is starting.
Goff is starting. I think for now, unless Kyle Allen somehow pushes Hendon Hooker, I think it's Goff, Hooker, then Allen, because Kyle Allen hasn't done shit in
Right.
the
I
NFL.
think that's where they signed Kyle Allen is because they were on push Hendon Hooker. I think that they are not satisfied where Hendon Hooker is at right now professionally, and they need somebody to push him.
Right. Because Hendon Hooker was okay, but it was weird that in the one game where we were up big and put somebody in, we put in Teddy Bridgewater off the street. And I thought that was a little telling at the end of the season. Because that was in the Minnesota game, if I remember right, like the last half of the fourth quarter, it was Teddy Bridgewater. But that might have been just to get his feet wet because they just re-signed him because he just won the state championship for the high school team he coached. So
Yeah.
who knows
But
what
that's
it
in
is?
coaching. That's not really in playing, though. I think they just I think they were just, in fact, I believe that what Dan Campbell said in one of his pressers not too long ago, the reason why they put him in there is because they weren't ready. They didn't feel Hendon Hooker was ready for that part of his career yet to go into a playoff game cold and lead him downfield. Teddy Bridgewater did a hell of a job doing that, and I think they should have kept his ass in there the whole game since Goff got knocked unconscious. But anyway,
that's not a bad. That could be too.
Not enough negativity. No more negativity. No more negativity with that.
Jim, I don't know if he's trade bait to move up in the draft because right now Hooker doesn't have that type of trade value. And you need at least 3 quarterbacks for OTAs in minicamp. And Philip Farragon, you're exactly right. A lot of teams carry 4 in the offseason and cut one after the minicamp.
Mm-hmm.
I want no part of Will Johnson. Too many injuries. And Orlando says coaching. Yeah, did we sign a new quarterbacks coach or did we promote JT Barrett?
I can tell you that real quick.
Because I know Mark Brunell is with Aaron Glenn.
Yep. Lions staff. Here we go. So the quarterback's coach is coaching dummy.
Yep. Okay. Austin says he thinks we promoted JT Barrett.
Quarterback's coach, assistant, quarterbacks, tight ends, coordinator, offensive assistant. Mark Brunell is our quarterback's coach.
Oh, so he didn't go?
No, he didn't go nowhere. No, Kennard went to the Jets with
Aaron Glenn.
Kennard went to the Jets and became offensive coordinator for AG.
Right. So really, all we lost was assistants, then the coordinator's the head coaching job, right?
Right. And then I feel we got better assistants anyway. Scotty Montgomery became the assistant head coach, wide receivers coach. So I think that's better, especially for JMO, because JMO needs to get his head out of his ass, as far as the maturity thing goes.
I think
Um,
I think
we
after
get
that whole ordeal in October with JMO while he was suspended, I think that did wake him up. I think that threat of arrest and the fact that they looked into it by the DA after that, I
mhm.
think that I apologize, Barrett went to Chicago. So that's somebody who got poached. JT Barrett went to Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we got running backs coach Tashard Choice.
Oh, I
That's a
remember
pretty good
Tashard
one.
Choice coming out of college. He was a great running
Mhm.
back. And though you know what they say about the ones that can't play in the NFL, they coach.
Right. You can't play, you do. That's how it goes.
Broski
Um,
says, "Be Strilla. Sorry about yesterday. I hope your show went well."
yeah, broski, you were supposed to show up, buddy. You didn't show up, but that was how all that. That's all right because you ain't the only one. All the Packer Whacker fans, guys on here didn't show up, and neither did the Minnesota ones. And Michael Johnson, if you're out there, I'm calling you by your full government name. You didn't show up either, but that's okay. I got something for y'all.
Michael Johnson, you Minnesota Vi Queen.
Right.
I'm just playing. But I do have some interesting news. While I was incarcerated up at Bay County, there was a young man about 27 years old, and I hate mentioning the college he graduated from, so you know where he graduated from. He was a right fielder who batted almost 300 for the Ohio State University. He was quick, but he his first year in single A ball, he blew out his ACL, thus ending his career. He is now the assistant coach to the Delta College Pioneers in the community college circuit here in Bay City, Michigan. He was incarcerated for a warrant that he didn't know existed because it happened when he was just 18 years old and he thought the case was over. He
Hmm.
is actually interested in doing a Sunday night show with me talking about the community college baseball scene.
Hmm.
And and after the first couple of weeks, he's going to start bringing the two top performers offensively and defensively on the team to talk baseball with. His name
Hmm.
is Jermaine Crawford. So it's going to be fun. You know, I made a connection that you would never expect to make
Back to
while
make it
incarcerated.
right.
So what happened was, everybody would eat breakfast and then go back to bed. Well, I'd stay up to watch Sports Center.
Oh, I had to do this. Oh shit.
Yep, Tanner Engstrom went to the Jets and is the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I meant. Thanks, Moonscar.
So it's going to be called Pioneer Talk about baseball. Just something simple because that's all it's going to be is me and him for a while and every now and then a couple players. And we're going to talk about the community college baseball team, who the top 5 teams in their division are. And then I'm going to ask him to do some research on his end because I'm still learning the baseball side of things. I want him to learn the top 5 in the country because they have their own playoffs too. So I think
Yeah,
that
that would
would
be
be.
great. That would be great. And then on top of it, you really got your foot in the door because he knows he'll know all kinds of college players too. Just bring him
Exactly,
on
and
here. That'd be straight.
he's already talking to teams because this was a team that was expected to be a basement dweller in the community college circuit here in Michigan, and they're in the top 5 right now. So he's in that talks of being moved up. Like right down the street from Delta College is a college I've been trying to get my foot in the door of, SVSU.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And if you get one of the coaches on your corner, that helps you a lot. And then that'll also help my writing. Then I'll have another sport to write about. Matt Henry, good to see you. I am doing great. Uh, 70 days
That's the other
incarcerated.
Chicago fan that didn't show up, but that's okay, Matt. I
He
love
said,
you.
"Good morning, Bistrilla." Yeah. So
Mm.
you had nobody show up. Packer fans,
No,
Viking
it was
fans,
just
Bear
Lion
fans.
fans, and we had an ad lib. I had Sonia on there helping me out, and we got this guy from Dallas, Tip. We had a good show. It's just
Hey,
that it was
it worked
disappointing
out.
that none of our foes showed because it was supposed to be an NFC North debate, and
I think
the people didn't
I
show.
don't think any team is going to have with the improvements that Chicago made to their O line. We kind of stayed exactly where we're at,
Mm-hmm.
talent wise. Everybody says, "Oh, you dipped in this and you dipped in that." We really didn't, because all we really lost was a couple of backup players and somebody who was only here half a season. Now, granted, I would rather have the guy that was here half a season than the guy that didn't play but a quarter of the season. But that's another story. Kyle DeBosch, what's up, buddy? No, John. And no,
John.
I'm not 80. Good Lord. I'm 54. I'm paying
Right.
child support. But it was great to see everybody in person again. Because I'll tell you what, nobody could figure out how to do the damn visitation now because it's all with a video camera and a phone and everything else, and it costs both the inmate and the person money. Will Boggs, what's up, Will?
What's up, Will?
BCP in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just that I'm glad you're back, JB, because you are the voice of reason. I'm getting sick of arguing with the damn Green Bay part of the network because they're always talking about, and John is one of them. Thank you, John. But he's one of them. It's talking about that. They said that Goff is not a top 5 quarterback. I said his stats prove otherwise. So I don't care what you say.
Caleb, it wasn't that accurate. He had decent stats for a rookie, period, especially with a bad O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way they rework that interior O-line, if he doesn't improve, it'll be because of the sophomore slump, not because they didn't put the pieces for him to be better. I want to say that and be honest right now. But I don't see them as more than an 8 or 9 win team.
And that's an improvement for Chicago, though.
Right, but I kind of said the same thing last year because I knew that Caleb will be better than Justin Fields, and he was. I said that.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Well, Justin, I mean, basing it off
wait, Will Vaughn says Dan Skipper just retired?
Skipper didn't retire. I hear nothing about that.
I thought he just got resigned.
That wasn't Skipper. That wasn't Skipper, Will. That was Kaminsky. Kaminsky retired. The commish. He retired.
Yeah, Brent, I know because I know a guy that has custody of all 4 of his kids, and they didn't put a stop on his child support, and he didn't know it, and he wasn't working because he meant commit. I kind of figured John Kaminsky would retire. All the injuries he had, he never could stay on the field anymore. He had that one good year as a flash in the pan in year 2, and then fell off. Thank you, Oz, for clearing that up, though, Vogue. Kaminsky retiring doesn't surprise me. It's kind of like Charles Harris when he didn't get picked up last year. He's probably going to retire this season if he's not picked up throughout free agency. So I think that's another guy that's probably going to ride off into the sunset, into obscurity, that nobody will want or miss because he was a first-round pick that never panned out for anybody and had one good year with Detroit in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody brought up that Love was bad because of all the drop balls by the receivers. I was saying, well, if you're going to say that, then you got to say the same thing about Goff in 2021, where we led the league by 20 drops over any other team. So, and he still completed 64% of his passes that year is the crazy thing.
Yeah, I'm just tired of battling people about Goff. I mean, Goff is a capable quarterback. He's probably better than most of the quarterbacks in the league. He is a top 5. I don't care what nobody says. He was at least top 4 last year. He had the yards, the quarterback rating to prove it. So
all of it combined, I have him in the top 10. I will not put him below like 8 at worst in the league, and that's where I'm at. And I'll leave it at that. I don't have him in the top 3. I just can't. I'm sorry. There's guys out there that I think are better. Burrow, Allen, Mahomes. Boom. And Mahomes had a bad year last year, but you can't say that Mahomes overall hasn't had a better career than Goff.
Well, I mean, career, yeah. But in the same course, people are adding the Super Bowls to it. Well, Lamar doesn't have a Super Bowl, neither does Josh. But guess what? Goff has been in the Super Bowl. So, you can't. The reasoning behind the whole situation is everybody's trying to fit their narrative to make Goff suck, and he don't. Right. I'm just saying.
No, he had 3 bad years out of his 8.
Mm-hmm.
And his 3 bad years were above average still.
Yeah. 2 with the Rams, 1 with the Lions. That's how I look at it.
Because you can't count his rookie year because he didn't come into year 8 on a team that was so abysmal, Jeff Fisher couldn't pull him out of the bucket with both hands on it. Because Jeff Fisher is not good for a QB.
Right.
No, you can't.
That's what I'm saying, Orlando.
Orlando, I'm going to fight that because Burrow is not that mobile. He's not that athletic after 2 injuries, the shoulder and everything else. But guess what he is? A top 5 quarterback, 100%. You look at his numbers, he blows out everybody.
Yeah, and that's right. Brent had this we had this discussion earlier. Brent, yeah, he dropped 2 passes for winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing. Only 2 of those was in the end zone. You're forgetting about the other 2 outside the end zone that would have been touchdowns. One by Brandon Cooks, where he was so wide open he could have turned around and backpedaled in from 20 yards out.
And somebody gave me a Packer fan gave me a false statistic. They said that Goff finished last year 31st in air yards, which is a lie. He finished 8th in air yards, and he threw 9 passes over 50 yards. He was the only person. He led that category. So I don't want to hear about air yards. God, and then he was second in yards
Orlando,
against Burrow, and he don't run either.
Orlando, Burrow was faster at the combine than Goff and Brady. He is not faster than them now.
Mm-hmm.
Packers get fake stats all the time. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Goff's statistically full season worst year wasn't even 2021 with us. It was actually the year they barely got in the playoffs as a wild card and still won a game.
Yeah, that wasn't Brent. That wasn't Dorn on that particular one.
No,
was a different Packer fan.
The coffee is flowing.
Yes, it is.
And
my
McCrappe is flowing too.
McCrappe. McCrappe. That's how I call it.
I only like the mocha one. The rest of them are crappy.
Yeah, they are. I'm not a real big McDonald's coffee drinker anyway.
Yep.
That coffee's nasty to me.
And if you remember right, before Dak broke his leg, he was mobile. He don't do that much anymore either. He's more of a pocket quarterback. And Ken the Bear fan. Lions failed JB so bad last year he had to take a state-sponsored vacation. Good one. That's a good one. I'll give you credit for that one, old Kenny boy.
Actually, I think we all need to do that.
I'll tell you what. I don't know how I went to jail, ate worse food, and gained 20 pounds. It sucks. Henry, they are Pecker fans. Do you expect something different? I like how he said it. Pecker.
Yeah, Pecker fans.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we do.
We are going right back to the same shows as we used to do. Monday through Friday at noon. Going forward, I don't know if I'll have one this week, but I'm going to try. I want to have one at 9 o'clock tonight if this slot is open. And then 9 o'clock on Wednesday and 9 o'clock on Friday as usual. And in a week or two, we will start the baseball talk with Jermaine Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be up to 9 shows a week again. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I've kind of done what you do. I've kind of joined everybody's podcast. So yeah, I understand how you feel. It's like, damn, I got another one. It's like it's like a job now.
Yeah, this is my second job.
Mm-hmm.
And my writing was my first job, but that is no longer happening because I'm going to be doing it for myself. So I got to get the website up and running with Leonard.
We got to get you published, man. Put you on something.
I want to get it on my own website and then get other people that I know that want to break, get them started and coach them.
Okay.
Yep. A job with virtually no pay. Until I hit my 1,000 subs, you're exactly right, Ken the Bear fan. So help me get there. I'm going to help you guys get there. You guys help me get there. You wash my back, I wash yours. And I don't mean in the prison shower.
Damn.
Yeah, I went there.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
And I was quick to do it because I had to have no shame in my game.
Let's see what we got here.
I think we might be able to see all 4 teams win 10 games. And it comes down to division record at the end. And last year, They all said we were going to have a drop off too after we won the division the year before. Everybody says, "Oh, you won't win more than 11 games." Guess who won their bet for the over unders for all 4 teams in the division for a second year in a row?
Let me see. You did?
Because I called it before the season started. The only
Yeah.
I was the only one, the only Lions fan I know that said Minnesota could be good with Sam Darnold because he has the best of everything he ever had around him. I was the only one that said that. I said they're either going to be third or they're going to be second.
Yeah, they were a mixed bag of tricks. I think the same thing is going to apply for this year for them too.
Right, because we don't know what J.J. McCarthy is yet. You haven't seen him play.
But they got all the pieces for him.
And they got all the pieces there for him. And this is basically his rookie year. So it's not a sophomore slump because he didn't play a single down in the regular season. Because there's no tape, you don't know what he can do. But I'll tell you what, better go watch a lot of Michigan tape, NFC North. Crossing routes and check downs, he's really, really good at. And if the play action works, he can hit a deep pass downfield.
There you go. He's going to be Goff 2.0.
Ken the Bear fan. That's right. This division should be a ton of fun this year. Like I said, the Bears did a lot to improve their O-line. I'm impressed. They basically signed a whole new interior O-line, and they had to. The only thing they had was 2 decent tackles.
Of course, they did get Jonah Jackson.
Yeah.
That was a blow tired.
They traded for him.
But and he got replaced by a damn rookie last year. So, I mean, yeah.
Well, okay, that's injury. It was injury.
Yeah, well, if you can't come back from injury and take your spot back, then obviously you weren't playing that good to begin with. So,
Bears need a real quarterback. He was only 300 yards away from being with Love.
Breaking Kittner record, right? I mean, not the Kittner, the
Eric Heppel.
There you go. Kramer record, yeah.
Yeah, but if you look, no, he was a left guard last year. Jonah Jackson was a left guard last year for the Rams.
I mean, to tell you the truth, it doesn't make a difference. Kind of sucks in all positions, but
nice.
I mean, that's why the Lions let him go. They don't want to pay him all that money.
Yeah, because he was asking for a buttload of money when he just missed half a season, and we did fine without him.
Right.
We won the division without him. So we were like, kick rock. We are not giving you $19 million. The Rams said, we'll do it. And they got us a 4th and a 5th out of that. I think we got 2 picks out of that, if I remember right.
Was it 2? I thought it was 1.
Well, then I heard it was going to be 2, so maybe it's in back-to-back years. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's a free agent that leaves, you don't get one the first year. You get one.
Maybe it's like an incentive draft pick. Like if he doesn't stay or he gets something like that they don't get the other draft pick or something. You know, they get one draft pick, and if the rest of the contract don't work out, then we don't get the other draft pick. Or I don't know how that works. Anyway,
you might want to turn your camera on. You look pretty ugly in Packer green. There we go. And you're muted.
Yeah, I'm just going to produce for you, get some comments on the screen. That's all.
Yeah, I address them by just talking them because I'm still getting used to being back on StreamYard. All right, I'll put them back in the back. I don't think we're winning 15 games in this division. I'm going to agree with you. I think at best it's 12. I do.
Or 13.
Because I think everybody's improved. That's what I'm getting at. Right. Jonah Jackson does upgrade the Bears O-line. The question is availability. I'm not excited about this draft at all. Seems pretty weak comparing the last 2 years. Where we're strong at in this draft is something that Lions fans should be happy about. The strongest 2 positions we need, D-line and O-line. That's the strongest positions in this draft other than running back. And then the wide receiver has more depth, but there's no top-end talent. You know what I'm saying? It's got way more depth than we've seen in a while in the wide receiver room. Somebody that's picked in the third, fourth, or sixth round might perform better than the ones in the first two.
Actually, let me ask you this question, JB, because and Zilla, because you guys have kind of missed some of the topic discussion on the morning show. Real quick, who do you guys think will be the first team to pull that wild card draft pick that just screws everyone up?
Tennessee, right off the get-go.
Tennessee or the fail camp. They do it every year. And I think Tennessee is going to go like Travis Hunter instead of quarterback and stick with Will Levis. I think that's where it's going to happen.
That's JB. That's why you're my guy. That's why you my guy. I've been saying that the whole time. Quarterback is not something that's just automatic for Tennessee. They're gonna rock with Mayo for a while. They're gonna rock until his rookie contract is up or until he improves. Then they're gonna pay him. But until that point comes, they're gonna rock with him. There's no sense of wasting another first-round draft pick on a quarterback that's not going to succeed anyway, right? So,
love to get one of those Michigan DBs.
I would too.
I would too, but you know what? We would have to be in the top 15 because that's where they fell to after the combine.
Well, Grant fell kind of farther down than Graham did. Graham is the higher of the two defensive tackles right now.
But Grant fell to like 15. He was supposed to be better than Graham, is what they originally posted. And after the combine, they swapped places. That's basically what they did. I love that.
Why is it called? No, Orlando, it's not racist. I call him Mayo because he likes putting mayo in his coffee. He does mayonnaise commercials. Don't you see those commercials?
Yeah, he's done the Hellman's mayonnaise commercials.
Yeah.
He was the first one to do the Hellman Squeeze mayonnaise commercial. Yeah. And that's when he was in college because Name, Image, and Likeness came out because he was putting mayo in his coffee.
Yeah.
Right. I think he might double up on D-line, or he's going to draft another guard in day 2. I think day 1 we're going to go edge because I don't think they trust Marcus Davenport to stay healthy if they can't get Z Smith back. So taking a D lineman or at the edge position, either an outside linebacker or a big defensive end that fell. One of those tweener guys, because that's the size that Brad loves. He likes them between 260 and just under 300 pounds for his defensive ends, because that's what he's been drafting. Look at all of them. They've been anywhere from 260 to 290, and there's a few that fit that bill. There's the kid out of Marshall that we like. I've had a few, just not as much as I used to. Because, Mike Green out of Marshall. If Charles Stewart falls, which after that combine performance, he might because he was slower than they thought he was. Yeah, we'd have to move up into the top 15 to get either of them, Orlando. That's why I don't suspect that that's the logical issue. I don't see us making that big splash and giving up future day 1 scratchable.
Is there a single team in this draft, though, with this offensive line, defensive trench draft, which is what it looks like, that's not drafting in the trenches in the first 3 rounds?
Right. Statistically, yes, Goff had a top 3 year as far as his quarterback numbers are concerned. We had great team results. Yep. I don't think we need a DT because Lee McNeil was already re-signed last year. He just got hurt. He's supposed to be back by the mid-October, I believe it is, at the latest. Somewhere between week 2 and week 6, I think I heard. I agree
it's going to be the latter.
I think it's going to be closer to the latter. I think it's going to be closer to my birthday when he comes back. My birthday falls on week 6 every year.
The way Dan was talking about and the way they've been signing defensive tackles, like, backups, because, they did sign Levi again, and then they got that Roy guy from Arizona, which I'm not impressed with.
But he's a good backup. That's my point, and he's a solid enough starter to carry you through a few. He was the kid out of LSU, right? Brandon Roy?
The Roy guy? Yeah.
No, Right, that's what I'm saying. We kind of stayed where we were. It's not a step back. I don't see where I hear all this that the Lions fell back. I don't see a step back on our roster.
JB, I think the discussion that like we've had on the morning show isn't that the step back is coming from the roster. The roster is talented, no doubt. The step back is going to come from losing as much coaching staff as you did, and even with the talent, now you've got different play callers. So the thought is that, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a good probability with different play callers that the play calling is not as good. Some of the scheme changes might not be as good, so there may be some drop off that way.
Well, if you look at the play calling we had on defense last year, I don't think it can get worse because we were horrible yardage wise. We just did good on scoring defense. Kelvin Shepard was on this roster in the assistant coaching staff room, was the assistant defensive coordinator and the running game coordinator for this defense. And we've been a top 5 rushing defense 3 years in a row now. I think where we'll improve is we'll be better than 22nd at the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we improved at the starting talent wise, and our depth has more talent than what we had. I think we got 300 yards better by losing Kendall Vildor.
Well, I mean, and you got that coupled in with the improvement of the rest of the division, right? The strength of schedule for the division this year. I mean, you look at 15 wins probably wasn't going to happen regardless. So even if they win 12 games, technically, yeah, it's a step back, but they're still a good team. So I think people are looking at more in that direction because I agree with you as well. Everyone can probably win 10 in this division. I said it last year. I'll say it this year. We'll see how the chips fall.
I think whoever's at the bottom, whoever it is, at worst has 8 wins. And I think the top team's going to have 12, and it's going to be a battle to get there. Because everybody in the division has a harder outside the conference schedule than they had last year. Because of the divisions we're playing.
And I mean, with Chicago, you're not getting an offensive coordinator. I mean, you're getting an offensive-minded head coach, but you're not really getting an offensive coordinator. Although he might have some things to say, but he's not going to be focused the whole game on offense. He's going to be focused on coaching. That's his job. So you're taking away kind of an aspect of the offensive play calling there.
Well, he's designing and calling the offense is what he's already said. So, I mean, it'll be interesting, but I think just for the fact that we're playing, the AFC North, we're all going to see a little bit of drop-off because the competition we're playing this year is much better than what we all played last year as well.
And the NFC East. Don't forget about the NFC East. Yeah. We do play the NFC East.
I also want to point out that, we'll be fine. We just went from a defensive line that struggled to get sacks, getting a guy that's been top 5 in sacks all 4 years. He was a D-line coach in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coached rookies into stars and vets into household names. Prior to him being there, Vita Vea was just considered very good, not great. After he got there, Vita Vea immediately became a household name the year they won the Super Bowl in 2019. Did he not?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's a good point. John Morton was here before. He was the one that tutelaged BJ when he was here. So I feel that, and he was an offensive coordinator in the Jets, albeit he wasn't a good one because the Jets didn't have a really good offense in the first place, but he has that experience. So really he's got more experience than what Ben Johnson has so far. I mean, he's not Ben Johnson. I'm going to say Ben Johnson has an affinity for calling offensive plays that are exciting and stuff like that. John Morton, I think, is going to go back to a traditional type of running game because we have a terrific running game. And I guarantee you, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be our number one. Monty's going to be there, the rough and 3rd and 1 and goal line situations where he's going to, rough it up a bit.
Right. So I think if you look at the Tampa Bay offense that John Morton was a part of, it wasn't that far off from the way the play calling was for Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Run, play action. He used all of that with Baker there. So I like him. And then he goes to Denver, becomes the offensive coordinator to have Bo Nix, and look what he did with that offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'll be interesting to see how play calling changes in Detroit. And I mean, I don't agree. Like, I don't disagree with anything Bistrilla said, but
Right.
let's remember John Fox, when he came to Chicago, was a coach whose last 2 jobs before then took bad teams to the Super Bowl, came to Chicago and was the worst coach in Bears history. So, I mean, all we can do is look at what they did in the past, but that's not always an indicator of what they're going to do in the future. And for Chicago, it's the same thing. Like, just because we got Ben Johnson as the head coach doesn't mean he's going to magically fix the offense. The defense isn't going to magically get better because we have a better coordinator. I mean,
it takes time. There's growing pains. There always is. And I'm not saying there won't be growing pains.
Yeah.
We had growing pains to start the season. Nobody predicted the Bucs would win except maybe like 3 professional talking heads and the Bucs. Right. But do I see the Lions still going for it on 4th downs as much or less? Yes.
Yeah. That's a Dan Campbell thing.
They're number 1 at going for it in the league since Dan Campbell's been here. And remember, he's gone through 2 offensive coordinators already.
I got to say this, though. Every year, he's gone for it the most in the league, but he has reduced every year. There's a method to his madness. The team gets better the less times you have to go on 4th and 1, first of all. And he's in scoring position, he's going to do that. So, yeah, it could be Patricia. That sucks.
Hey,
don't even. Why did you even say that, Orlando?
Wait! I got one for you. Guess who he's the assistant defensive coordinator of?
Ohio State University. There's another Michigan win.
He got moved out of there. The Cleveland Browns signed him to be assistant defensive coordinator.
Yep. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And Jim, I'm not saying he might suck. I'm saying, look, there have been other great coordinators who became head coaches. I'm just not drinking the opium that a lot of Bears fans are.
Well, let's look at it this way. Ben Johnson is a great offensive coordinator, but he's never been in control of an entire roster yet.
Right.
No, he has
more on his plate, and it's going to depend on his assistants. And he hired a couple of assistants that it'll be their first time in that position. Now, granted, they were good at their position and maybe better. Oh, he is the DC?
Yeah, he's a DC. That's why I said another Michigan win.
Orlando, that name has been banned. No, it's Matt Patricia. Let's say it.
Yeah, it's Patricia. Yeah, you got to say it right. You can't say Patricia. Yeah.
Patricia's not allowed on our, unless there is a Patricia. And if Patty Grimes is still out there, I miss you. Get a hold of me. I'm sorry about all the mix-up. Same with you, Moonscar. I'll get everything cleared up soon because something happened and I wasn't here, so I don't know where everything is that I was supposed to get shipped. Prevent the win, Buckeyes D. Yeah, 1 down lineman on 3rd and long.
I still don't get why teams go into prevent. The prevent, every fan knows the prevent does one thing. Prevents you from winning.
Right. Yeah, I've never understood that either.
Johnson is the darling right now. Plays the fake fumble and gave the NFL a Woody. Just wanted to let everybody know I will get it handled soon. Anything that's wrong.
No, it's called hopium. Hopium is what they do on 8 Mile. Hopium is what fans do.
When I was with We Are Lions Nation before I had my own show, we started a slogan because of me, because they were the hopium people, smoking that hopium since 1934.
I'm telling you.
Well, I'm really glad that you guys always mention 8 Mile when somebody mentions Detroit, because it's like every criminal element and every crack addict stays on 8 Mile, which is ridiculous because it doesn't. That's a division line between Detroit and the suburbs, basically.
Right.
So.
Hey, just because there's a movie title, that's why we all say it.
Yeah.
How about the tush push getting banned?
You know what? My stance on that was simple. I think we talked about it on Hallis. Look at make teams learn to defend it. Like any other play, make them learn to defend it. Oh, we can't defend it, therefore we should ban it. No, learn to defend it, MFers.
I'm in agreement to that. Mm-hmm.
Well, I actually have one for you. You know the tush push was actually banned before it started. The rule has been there since the league was inception, because they used to use the tush push from the field goal position to go for a 2-point when it was back up by the goal line. And they made it an illegal play then. So all they're doing is enforcing a real rule that's been there as long as the NFL.
Well, I mean, if it's been there, then it shouldn't have been legal in the first place. So if they allowed that to go on for as long as Philadelphia is, it's not a rule then. It can't be a rule if they're not enforcing it.
That's why they had to make it specifically about that formation in that play, because originally the illegal play was in the field goal formation. We have an 8 Mile by the beautiful Orchard Company.
We have a 9 Mile down here in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
The QB sneak.
There's a mile somewhere.
The QB sneak is not a tush push. The QB sneak was the quarterback diving between two offensive linemen under the line, is what it used to be.
You know, here's the thing with that. Like, Green Man's a guy he's doing our intro for the morning show. He lives in London. And he's like, oh, you guys need to watch like Aussie Rules. I'm like, if they brought Aussie Rules to the US, the Players Association would make it a non-contact sport. I mean, everything is player safety. This is a gladiator sport. Everything's player safety. You just need to play football. And I think the push gets rid of that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bump the computer. I laughed when I looked up. Packers have a locker room culture of tush push since 1920.
Well, they aren't called the Fudge Packers for nothing.
You're right.
True that.
They just removed the first part of the name.
Yeah, they just Goodell is just making this league a flag football league, and that's why I don't like Goodell. Goodell's the devil. I understand he's trying to get money, but that's just bullshit to me. I don't care for that.
And the tush push is a rugby play. That's where it originated from.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
But that can be defended. At the same regard. I've seen that defended before.
Right.
So
it's the whole thing about not being able at the goal line put a guy directly over center anymore is the biggest reason why the tush push worked. When the goal line was in that old 5-3 formation, I think it was called, where you had the 5 defensive line, then you had your linebackers right up, and then it was just corners on the outside and a safety deep.
Well, Paul, that's true. They've been getting rid of all kinds of defensive rules, so that it makes the game more exciting. Which I don't feel that's true. You're still putting butts in the seat. If it's a 10-7 game, I'd still enjoy it. It's football,
right?
Let them play football.
I just think them not allowing a defensive tackle to be right over the center on that goal line formation is the biggest reason why the tush push was being successful. If they'd have moved it back the way it used to be, the old 5-3, the Eagle defense it used to be called, where you have stacked the defensive line.
But John, you say the Packers stopped it more than once, but you guys are the ones that initiated the rule ban. That's what you did, and you got all kinds of teams joined up there. So I don't want to hear nothing about the Packers stop this and stop that. Then stop being a tattletale. That's what I want. Trying to make the league. Man, get out of here with that.
Wait, the league has been trying to take at least one game every other year away from Detroit since 1963. Let's get it right. As soon as Ford bought the team outright, he was approached by the commissioner back then.
I heard Kansas City wants to have a Christmas game every year.
Well, you know, there's going to be 3 Christmas games this year, 2 on Netflix and 1 on Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
They're expanding it so more people can watch it. Yay.
Make more money.
Yep.
Of course. That's all it is.
But it is almost that time. I want to say thank you. And Ken, do you mind switching to one of the other ones and playing our outro, since I couldn't find the intro before I got started?
Oh, you want the outro?
No, the intro that we use for Huddle Sports.
Yeah, hold on. Let me switch over to the morning show. And
yep, just go ahead and give that a quick play for me.
So we're going to look at the real media assets. You want the intro or the outro?
Oh, the intro.
Okay, here comes the intro. Oh, wait. There we go. The commercial.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network on Roku and Fire Stick. This is the first place to find all the latest NFL news, trades, and rumors. If you have a Roku or Fire Stick, access your menu and locate the search bar to perform a channel search. Then simply type in Huddle Sports Network. After completing the search, this logo should appear. Then add to your menu and you're good to go. We cover all your football needs, from breaking news to trades and rumors. So join us and enjoy the sport we learn to love so much. So be sure to add Huddle Sports Network to your Roku or Fire Stick menu and keep informed of all your football news and needs. You can also find us on Facebook and, of course, YouTube. Thanks for supporting our journey and our passion for football.
Yes, thank you, Ken, for the support. I will get that downloaded to my computer later. That way I got that, because I need it.
We got commercials today before we hit the outro and go off air?
Yeah, I did that because it's almost time for me to go off air. I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, like I always do. And remember, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. I don't care if you're a Packer, Bear, or a Queen fan. But, I do have one more thing to show because,
Oh, there you go.
our buddy's here. I got to do that real quick.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's an uh-oh. Why does it keep changing? It won't let me get there. Change it back
Well, hey,
to
JB, I got something for you. What did the Lions learn last year?
Mm-hmm. You're learning so many important things, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, there you go. Throw Ken back up. That was great.
Okay. Yeah. Will you throw that up there on Lions Talk with SJB real quick, because I can't change it because you did. I did, but
no, we didn't get the meow one. I want the meow one.
Yeah, I got to download that one, but I got to be on my folder.
And JB, you missed this one too, because I've been exploring video.
No, you're not. Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. Stop.
But he does watch the house. Yeah, I've been playing with stuff. Well, here, I'll do you one better.
Why is he switching?
Man, why did the smoke come out as that?
Well, it's the power of AI. Good to have you back, JB. Good to have you back, brother.
I couldn't help it. It is good to be back. But thank you, everybody, for watching. We really probably don't have that much time for the outro, so we're just going to end it here. Oh, we do got enough time? Okay, run it.
I'll get you. Everyone be back tomorrow for more JB. Be true. Good to see you, brother.
And tomorrow we'll have main event Mike with me.
Hey, Ken, man, make sure they change that 2 toes to 3 toes, man. They haven't done that in the 3 weeks I've been asking.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
All right, here comes the outro. Everyone have a great day, everyone. Hey, be sure to stay. It's going to kick everyone off stage. I'll bring everyone back up after.
All right.